You know, that potato chip makes me smile. I really feel that the flavor here is all in the rice.
Yes.
It's delicious. So we are here in Gachibowli and we are here for what will hopefully be a delicious lunch celebrating the flavors of the land. And we are here at ULAVACHARU, which is one of Ravi's favorite restaurants.
Yes, absolutely.
So we are here at ULAVACHARU and Ravi, this restaurant comes highly recommended.
See, basically like 10-15 years back, if you're in Hyderabad, most probably you end up eating biryani at an Irani hotel. Or you might go to a North Indian dhaba to have some paneer curry or malai paneer, something like that.
Yes.
But there is no place for pulaos. This is the one which made pulaos very popular, I would say. So you need to check out this place for the pulaos and for the starters, and they have some traditional Telugu food which is served with a twist actually.
So let's go into ULAVACHARU. Yes. Let's go. Well, the restaurant's barely open, but you can already see a steady hum of visitors. So you know that this is a busy, popular restaurant. Let's go in.
Thank you for visiting us.
What is special about ULAVACHARU? What makes it that?
Yeah, ULAVACHARU, we bring back old recipes into the new generation. See, we want to introduce all the old recipes which have been forgotten, that earlier our grandmother used to cook and all, and in villages, and we bought it in a different parts. See, we from Rayalseema region we took some, and from Costa we took some, and from Telangana we took some dishes and all.
So you've made those dishes your own. You've given it your.
We are more passionate on this thing.
Okay.
I'll tell you, Mr. Vinay and Mr. Vijay, these guys,
Yeah.
Okay.
what they do is like, for example, if they try something, they know something which is very traditional, like, a couple of generations back. They research about that dish and then come here, sit with the chefs and then make it, suitable to this appetite.
As much 20 to 30 trials we'll do.
Okay.
Once it is done.
What are some of the more popular dishes here?
No, there are many dishes actually.
Okay.
We are having 18 types of biryanis and 32 starters.
18 types of biryanis.
All are our own recipes.
Wow, 18 types of biryanis. I think this is probably the highest number of biryanis that I've ever heard of in a restaurant. And these 18 biryanis are served every day.
No, yeah, every day it will be.
Wow.
Yes, Raju Gari Pulao Pulao is our signature dish.
Raju Gari Pulao Pulao.
Pulao, and in starters we have tandoor fish, Bangla Kodi.
Bangla Kodi, okay.
And he is very much interested to see how the bamboo chicken is made.
Yeah, sure.
Can we do that? Can we take a look at your kitchen? Alright, so let's go into the kitchen and see how some of these delicacies at ULAVACHARU are prepared. So this is a Guthivankaya Kodi Pulao, and I'm told this comes from the Telangana region.
It comes from the omelette.
Okay.
And it will be made up of with a red chili powder.
Okay.
It's a boneless.
Boneless chicken.
Boneless grill. Yeah, boneless.
So this is made in a pulao style.
Yeah, it's made up.
So we're going to be watching the making of the bamboo chicken. So what is there in this chicken?
This is our in-house masalas.
In-house masala.
In-house masalas and boneless chicken.
Boneless chicken. I can see some green masala. So I'm assuming a lot of coriander, chilies,
Exactly. Including lemon,
spinach. And so this goes into this bamboo.
Yes.
I can smell the fresh herbs that have gone into this marinade.
They're wrapped in a silver foil. So
Okay.
it won't get immediately this thing.
All right.
We'll put it into that. Wrapped in the silver foil, it will be properly cooked.
So the heat is more uniform. The
Yes,
heat is spread more
exactly.
uniform. So that's a very interesting dish here, which is the bamboo chicken. I can't wait to taste that dish here. So this will cook for how long now?
Half an hour.
Half
Meanwhile,
an
we
hour.
can start eating our pulaos and then different kinds of rice.
You can hear them barking their orders on the public address system here. Oh, there's 2 bamboo chicken, 1 mutton biryani, keema masala, table running. That means they have customers who have already sitting at the restaurant, ordered their food and they want more food. But I don't think I've shouted ever this much in a restaurant, in a kitchen. That's how busy this kitchen is here at ULAVACHARU. So we're finally sitting down to dine here at ULAVACHARU. We've just been in the kitchen and I can tell you this is perhaps, Ravi, one of the busiest kitchens that I've seen. I've never seen a kitchen where they use a public address system to bark out orders. That's how busy this restaurant is. When we came in, there were 2 or 3 tables taken. I just had a peep out now, and suddenly every table in this restaurant is taken. That's how popular ULAVACHARU is. And I'm looking forward to my meal here at ULAVACHARU, to tasting some real, authentic, traditional flavors.
And the best part of this is, like, you know, when you come to this restaurant, you have a sweet which is complimentary, and this is kova samosa.
Cheers. The sweetest start to a meal ever in the many episodes of Gourmet on the Road that we've shot.
When you come here, you're sitting and you're waiting for the food, and you get a complimentary sweet from their end, which makes you comfortable actually. Which makes you happy having a sweet, you know, that's the main thing. And now coming to the other dishes, when I see a banana leaf, plantain leaf on my plate, I feel so happy, so good, so comfortable. See, because the color.
You know, I believe that the banana leaf is the most auspicious start to a meal.
Yes, absolutely. And now this is a bamboo, which is kept in the tandoor like 30 minutes back, 30-40 minutes back.
Alright.
And we got it served on the table now. So it will be, you need to see how the aromatic chicken coming out of the bamboo.
Oh, that looks delicious.
Yes.
All that moist masala of that chicken.
Out of that bamboo.
I can smell some of the spices, right? Can you smell the cumin?
Yes, yes.
So it's like cooked in a tandoor but steamed inside that.
Steamed inside. It's like pressure cooked. And the aromas will be intact in this.
Lovely.
Yes.
You know, what I think is that this chicken, when I look at this, you know, this chicken is light pink and it has soaked the masala all the way to its core. So I know even before tasting this chicken that this is going to be a flavorful chicken, Ravi. It's soft.
It's properly cooked and you can see the masala. This is all juicy and all, this is all wet actually.
That's right. So when I taste this bamboo chicken, you know, I'm tasting the fact that they wrap the bamboo in that foil. I think increases the heat inside that bamboo, because that heat which is trapped in there has nowhere to go, and therefore it renders this very soft. Like you said, you can almost break it with a finger.
Yes.
I find the chicken very soft. In fact, a wee bit powdery, if I may say so. But it's got all those fresh flavors from the herb and that tangy note of the lime, which is what stays on your palate.
You know, this is a beautiful dish. See. And now this is a chicken. That's boneless chicken inside for you. It's wrapped with a potato.
Is this a potato chip?
Yeah, that's a potato chip. And the chicken is wrapped with a lot of chili powder and then garam masala and deep fried.
Fantastic. What's interesting is this is almost like a mini taco.
Yes.
Right? So you've got like a taco shell, you've got the chicken there, and this is a taco that's made with potatoes.
Now you need to hold it like this way. No, have a bite, half bite.
Okay. You know, that potato chip makes me smile because it's got that crunchy outside. I'm sure there's some cornstarch there which is adding to the crispiness of the potato.
Yes.
So it has a crunch that comes from the frying, but it also has a crunch that comes from a slightly underdone potato, which I think in this case adds to the textural appeal of this dish. So you've got that potato and you've got the chicken inside, and that spice which is powdered on this potato makes for a nice masaledar bite. So the bamboo chicken was great, but I think what's interesting is this Bangla Kodi.
Yes.
I think this is definitely an interesting find when you come to ULAVACHARU. I think you shouldn't leave without tasting one of these, especially if you're a chicken lover.
Basically, these guys have like 18 different pulaos. You call it a biryani, you call it a pulao, or you call it a meat dish, or you call it a rice dish with some vegetables. So the beauty is, like, you know, they have like 4 different accompaniments. You know, whenever you order a pulao, this is all complimentary. This is called gongura.
The sour spinach or the sorrel,
Yeah. And then this is a raita. And then you got the ULAVACHARU. It's a stew made of horse gram, you know, that's they source it from Vijayawada. So that's where the ULAVACHARU consumption is very high. And then you have the mirchika salan in their own style. Now coming to the pulaos, so we had the star dish called Raju Gari Pulao. A lot of my followers, whoever comes to Hyderabad from US or UK, whatever, they generally ping me, Ravi, what is the best pulao to try in Hyderabad? And I say, try Raju Gari Pulao at ULAVACHARU. And note, you may not like it for the first time, but if you're trying it for the second time, third time, you will be addicted to this. That's what I think.
This is what you are.
Yes.
So this is the Raju Gari Pulao.
Yeah.
So is Raju supposed to be a personality?
Yes, he might be a cook.
He might be a cook.
Who cooks this kind of pulao? Maybe.
Okay.
Let's build up the assumptions.
Raju Gari is respected Raju.
Garu matlab respect.
So this is a respected Raju's Pulao.
Yes.
So we wonder who that respected Raju is. But this Pulao certainly is unlike any other Pulao that I've tasted. So if I look at it from a consistency perspective, it's more like a khichdi.
Yes.
But a khichdi in which each grain of rice still holds its own. It's not, the rice is not come together in a mush.
Yes.
Right? So I'm quite intrigued, to say the least, by this Raju Gari Pulao. So let's taste it. The one thing I always believe in, Ravi, is that when you taste a biryani or a pulao, you should always taste the rice first.
Yes, absolutely.
So this is like a rice and gravy dish. That's how moist this pulao is. It's a tasty pulao though. I mean, it basically blows whatever perception you have of a pulao or a biryani out of the water, because it's not that. And I think the first thing you need to do when you taste this particular pulao is you need to open your mind up to the possibility that a pulao can be as watery or runny as a khichdi.
Yes. And you have a lot of garam masala in it, you know, you have a lot of green chili in it.
That's right.
And then the karnool onion, the small onion in it. And now you're gonna try the pulao with
a gongura. It's got that masala, it's got the spices. I can also, there's that peppery note that is there. You got some of the green chili. This is a tasty pulao, but it's just the whole concept of a pulao that's moist. I think in this pulao, I tasted a bit of the chicken, but I think the flavor is really in the pulao.
Yes.
Not so much the chicken. I think the chicken is there. Yeah, you want a pulao or a biryani, you're expecting some meat there on your plate. But I think the flavor really is in this pulao. I love the thickness of this horse crab.
Yeah.
I can eat an entire bowl of that. You know, I think it's such a comforting and such a nourishing dish. I think if you have a bowl of ULAVACHARU, you need nothing else to probably set you for the day.
My grandma used to make, where used to have a lot of cattle. What they do, you know, they feed the cattle with a lot of horse gram.
Okay.
So they boil the horse gram overnight.
Okay.
And they take the water out of it, and then they boil it on the stove again until it
reaches a certain thickness.
Comes to this level. And then what they do, they add a lot of chili powder, salt, tamarind to it, and then they give the popu. What do you call? You know, they just keep some curry leaves and then lentils.
Like a tempering.
Tempering.
You know, to me, this pulao is all about the pulao. I'm trying to taste some meat now with this pulao, and I'm mixing that into the rice and all of that. I really feel that the flavor here is all in the rice.
Yes.
It's delicious.
And now you got the salan.
So the Raju Gari Pulao with the mirchi ka salan, and this mirchi ka salan is not the typical Hyderabadi style that you find in Irani restaurants, but this is the ULAVACHARU style. So if you look at this, the color even is very different. It's a yellow ochre color. It really doesn't look like a typical mirchi ka salan. I think this is much tamer, right? It's much more mellower. It's not as punchy. I think this rice is really where all the flavor is in this Raju Gari Pulao.
There is a vegetarian lunch or vegetarian meal in Andhra region or Telangana region. The must dish is Guthivankaya. That is nothing but masala wankai. So masala wankai is nothing but masala brinjal or masala eggplant. Now these guys came up with this Guthivankaya Pulao rice, which is served with Guthivankaya.
So it's basically like an eggplant
Curry
ladled on top of a pulao.
Yes.
So this is the Guthivankaya or the eggplant. Did I say it wrong?
No, the expression you're giving.
So this is the Guthivankaya.
Yeah, now the expression is very smoothing.
The Guthivankaya Pulao with eggplants. Okay, let's take some of the rice and some of this Guthivankaya. Lovely. So there you go. This is my first time tasting a eggplant pulao. To be honest, I never really knew there was such a thing as an eggplant pulao. But amongst the 18 pulaos here, the 18 biryanis here at ULAVACHARU, this finds notable mention according to Ravi when it comes to the vegetarian's choice. You know the masala that I taste, I bit into a clove.
So there's masala for you and then there is rice for you.
Mix the rice and the masala and some of that onion as well. You know, I think if you're a vegetarian and you love your eggplant,
And if you love to have some masala,
I think this would be a great pulao to have. You know, the eggplant, Ravi, is perhaps the meatiest of all vegetables.
Yes.
If you look at its texture, this is the closest that a vegetable can come to the texture of meat. So in a way, you know, although this looks like a concoction of sorts, actually it's quite an intelligent decision on the part of the restaurant to actually use an eggplant in this pulao, right? So I'm looking forward to tasting this and wondering whether it will really taste as meaty as what I expect it to taste. What I feel is that it's got that depth of flavor.
yes, absolutely.
I'm going to taste this pulao now with a piece of the eggplant and all that masala. You know, it's a satisfying dish, and I think if you're a vegetarian, I don't think you can go wrong with this. Still getting used to tasting these very moist pulaos.
Yes. You see the color of this pulao and you see the color of this pulao.
That's right.
Okay, so every dish got its own unique flavor and own unique taste. So that's the reason a lot of people love to come to this place.
That's right. So I think what happens in a restaurant like ULAVACHARU is that you come and you taste. Perhaps when you come the first few times, you come with a friend, maybe somebody like Ravi who guides you to one or two of these pulaos. Then you come again, you maybe taste something else. And I think eventually you find those pulaos that really appeal to you the most. And I think then those pulaos become a habit. Like Ravi mentioned, for him, the Raju Gari Pulao here is a habit. And I think that's really what's special about these pulaos. When you taste this pulao the first time, your mind is still wondering, is this a pulao?
Yes.
Is it a biryani? But I think as you taste it, you know, as that flavor grows on you and as you understand those nuances, because each dish here has its own personality,
yes,
has its own character.
Yes.
And on that note, I think we should go for the
Next pulao.
next pulao. So we're now tasting the Rayala Vary Kodi Pulao.
This is most influenced by different regions and they named it after Rayala Vary Kodi Pulao. And then basic ingredient, the base ingredient is sorrel leaf.
The sorrel leaf. So let's taste this Rayala Vary Kodi Pulao with the sour spinach. You can definitely taste the gongura. So the flavors that I find in these pulaos are very unique. And to be honest, I have not really tasted anything that comes close to these in terms of the individual character or personalities of this pulao. So in this pulao, for instance, I'm tasting the sourness that comes from the gongura leaf or the sour spinach or the sorrel, and I can taste that masala.
Even the way that the chicken is cooked is perfect. It's not overcooked and then it's not half cooked. It's like, you know, you can see this. Very easily you can mix that with the rice.
Yes. As soon as I finish this first bite, I'm going to go for that bite with that ULAVACHARU.
I'm waiting. Now comes the expression.
And some rice now with that ULAVACHARU. You can see generous dollop of ULAVACHARU on the rice. When you taste these pulaos for the first time, to be honest, the eggplant pulao, I think if you're an eggplant lover, you'll love it. It didn't appeal too much to me. But then, you know, that's the beauty about food, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Everything doesn't need to appeal to everybody. But the Raju Gari Pulao, I think, touched a chord somewhere, touched my heart somewhere. And this particular pulao that I'm tasting, which is a Rayala Vary Kodi Pulao, is also a pulao that is beginning to grow on me.
Yes.
And this piece of meat is cooked just perfectly.
Wonderful. Thank you. Nice.
Thank you.
So I'll tell you the story of this rose milk. There is a place called Rajahmundry in East Godavari district.
Rajahmundry, yes?
Yeah, and there is a Punjabi guy who migrated to Rajahmundry before independence. And then he started this rose milk business. And after few years, he left to his Punjab. And the guy who is working there took this business.
Okay.
And now this is one of the famous drink in Rajahmundry. This is called Rajahmundry rose milk. They add syrup into the cold milk and some kova.
So the kova makes it rich.
Yes. Cheers to wealth.
Cheers.
How's it?
It's been ages since I've had a rose milk. And perhaps the last time I had a rose milk was when I was a kid. And just that first taste of this rose milk
Okay.
brings all those happy days back. So that's bringing up the end of our meal here at ULAVACHARU.
No, you got one more thing.
That's right. But Ravi says this is not the end. We've got one more very interesting dessert to be tasted. So this is Junnu, a dessert that's made from colostrum or the first milk of a lactating cow. It's not easy to procure, but this is a delicacy called Junnu that's made out of it.
So now you have mix of sugar, jaggery, ilachi and cooked on steam.
That milk is creamy, rich. You know, the only closest explanation that I can give to this is visualize kova and visualize that kova in a liquidy custardy form. That's what this Junnu tastes like. You know, actually this is a dessert that you got to give a lot of respect to, because this is a colostrum or the first milk of a lactating cow that's been given up to make this dessert. You know, and I'm also told that this milk has many properties that help aid immunity, and because this is the first milk that a cow feeds on, I think you have to respect this dessert much as we appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this collab, and it's been fantastic working with Ravi and tasting these very special meal experiences. And if you're looking to taste some delicious flavors of the state, be it from Andhra, be it from Rayalseema, be it from Telangana, and in a very unique style, make sure you check out ULAVACHARU the next time you're here in Hyderabad. The restaurant has many interesting offerings, and most importantly the range of pulaos, and I'm sure within those 18 pulaos you will certainly find something that you can make your own.
Yes.
So until the next episode of Gourmet on the Road, stay safe and happy
Eating.
eating. I should go back to the
Junnu.
Junnu. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, share and leave a comment. If you'd like to support Food Lovers TV, do log on to foodlovers.in and hit the Support Food Lovers banner. Links in the description below. Happy eating!